Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Josh Blanchard here, and I just had the great pleasure to attend a sale here in Kalamazoo in Barry County. It was at the Expo Center here in town, and let me just let me know how. I'll share a little bit about how it panned out. I'll read some of my max bids and what the property sold for. So one of them, my max bid was $30,000, and it sold for $95K. So I think we all just need to take a second to walk through this and understand and grow. We'll grow and learn together. One of the things is that I think a lot of people are buying property based on a Zillow assessment, and that can be a very damaging thing. That comp is not always going to be accurate. And so in this case, the property was bought for 90, what did I say, 90 or was it 95? I wrote it down here. 95K. My max bid was 30. The Zillow assessed was $120,000. So let's say that you could sell it for the Zillow 120K, and you don't have to put a dollar into it. You're going to be making, $30,000. But I wonder if I could show you a photo. That would be nice. But I got a photo here on my phone of it. It's lakeside, but the property is not in good shape whatsoever, and it's going to take a lot of money to rehab it. And on top of that, you're going to probably have to pay a little bit. It was occupied, and so you're going to have to pay a little bit, probably do cash for keys to get the owners out there. And if you want to flip it, you might want to find someone with that kind of money. You're going to want to get quiet title to sell that, or you could try and find somebody to sell it to them as is. But on top of that, I have a feeling that there's a lot of people in the room that didn't check the title work as well, checking for liens against the property, or making sure that all interested parties are notified. And one of the things that happens when doing quiet title is they're going to make sure that all that paperwork was done properly. And if it wasn't done properly, if the notifications weren't done properly, then you're going to run into some red tape down the road. I know title is very convoluted and complex, but it starts with going to the county recorder's office generally and looking up all the information on the property, getting comfortable with that lingo, getting familiar, and then just talking with people. How are the notifications done? How can I check on those? When I pulled title, I saw all these interested parties. Was everybody sent a notification? How can I verify that? And that is how you're going to be most protected. But today, what happened is there was an auction happening physically in the room, and then at the same time, they were also providing a service where people could bid online as well. So not only are you bidding with everybody in the room, but you're bidding against everybody online as well. So I came out, wanted to check this out, and now I'll make a little bit, I'll make some notes. But so public land auction, tax-sale.info is who they are. And they actually handle the whole state, so you can follow them around if you want. But if it's anything like this, then there is no opportunity. So there's two things I don't like when it comes to tax sales. One of them is big counties. So this isn't the biggest, but it's still pretty big. We're just south of Grand Rapids, so that probably brought some competition from there, like 45 minutes from Grand Rapids. I don't like big cities for tax sales and online auctions as well. The reason I don't like online auctions is because the bidding is open to everybody in the state, or everybody in the country, and then sometimes us fellow Canadians too can bid as well. So the competition is so much more intense. There's a lot going on. Most of the ones today were actually won from online bidders, and I have a feeling that the online bidders do not know as much as the local people here when it comes to assessing the property. I fear that a lot of people do all of their research from afar, and you got to physically have someone look at the property or look at it yourself to gauge that. So there are ways to do that from afar, but someone's got to physically look at the property, unless you just want to blow a small amount of cash and you've done things to check and you have a really good idea that there probably is a house there. But I mean, if the risk is minimal, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, if you're comfortable with $5,000 and you do a lot of research online and it appears that way. But if you're going to be spending 10, 20, 30, 40 and upwards on a property, you got to see it or have someone look at it that you trust. So I don't want to go to any other sales here in Michigan. And in fact, I'm on my way. I'm going to be driving 5 hours to another sale in 2 days. I've been hitting up maybe 4 or 5 sales a week for the past couple of weeks. So acquiring tons and tons of data. The most success I've had has been going to small counties where there's no competition on the internet. So it's just the only competition are people in the room. And again, one of the things too is the marketing with this stuff too. So all these properties that were here in Michigan, the majority of them were also shown on Zillow being in the foreclosure process, and that's not that normal. So that probably drew up some interest in the paper. They also put the signs out there for the houses, yellow signs, draw some attention there. And then they just got a great website. They walk you through everything. They make the learning curve really easy. They give you everything you need. They got a property transfer affidavit in there. This is their booklet. They got all their dates. They got tons and tons of information, lots of education, what to do if there's a tenant in there, some deed information. And then in fact, when he started today, they got this huge section on rules and regulations as well. So the easier they make it for everybody, the more competition you're going to have too. So when it comes to doing your research and when it comes to finding tax sales, what I recommend best is get to smaller counties and go to places where they don't have all this stuff online. If you go to places where it's a tiny bit convoluted, a little bit confusing, where not everybody's going to be so easily welcomed into it. And here they pretty much took everything except for cash. You could pay credit card, etc., things like that. Absentee bidding is another one. So these people could actually do absentee bidding as well. So you have on-site bidding, absentee bidding, online bidding, and then of course that covers all of them. So they made it so easily accessible to everybody else. You want to get to a place where that's not the case, where the only people that can bid are the people in the room, and that I think a lot of stuff like that will help you find the right places, because if you spend all your time going to sales like this, you're going to waste your time. This is becoming quite a bit more popular in the years of late, here in the 2000s. Was it 2017? I think. Yeah, it is 2017. So it still works, but you just got to go hunting in the right place. If you ever want to ask us questions, shoot us an email, hello@taxliencertificateschool.com. Get some emails going. We do auction trips left and right. There's probably some links below. What I would like you to do, if you haven't subscribed, is click right here where this space is. Click to subscribe, because we're out in the field. We're doing this all the time. You'll get first access, you'll know first before anybody else. Lots and lots of video, lots of content coming, staying soon. So this is up-to-date information. This is as up-to-date as you can get, and I would love to see you get some tax sale property cheap. Probably can't do it here in Kalamazoo, because before we go, let me just tell you more of the craziness here. I'm holding the iPad with my right hand, but let me just tell you, that wasn't even the worst one. 30 on the 95K. Let me tell you about the one that was actually shocking. Okay, another one. My max bid was $12,000. It sold for $30,000. Let me throw in one more quick hint. Let's say the Zillow price is $120,000, right? So you think you can sell it for $120,000. If you're hoping to do a relatively quick flip, in a couple of months or something, maybe you got to do quiet title, so you're looking at 90 days. Maybe you want to just sell it as is, via quick claim deed, so no clear title. You can sell it as soon as you get the deed if you sell it as is like that. If you look in that neighborhood and your estimate is 120K, but there's other properties in the neighborhood that are nicer, that are currently on the market for sale for 120, and they're not moving, then you know for sure that you can't fix this thing up if it's not as nice and expect to sell it quickly. If there's other houses in the neighborhood that are nicer than your house, that have been on the market for 30, 60, 90, 120, like 120 days, you know, then something's going on there. And so it's a lot to do with what's your exit strategy, because if you're going to be renting and holding on to this, you can work with different numbers than somebody that wants to flip their money. And I think the bulk of the people watching these videos are people that have saved up some cash. They want to spend that and then get it back as quickly as possible and get that rolled into another deal. So for those people, you got to be really careful with your numbers, because you got to buy something in an area that's desirable. You got to buy something too, and know the numbers, and know that, okay, Zillow says this is worth 120, but there's a whole bunch of houses on the market for 120 that are remodeled and beautiful. They're bigger, they're nicer brick, it's luxury. So if I want to sell my house quick, I got to be selling it at a price that's going to move it fast. Just a little bit more insight. Here's another one. My max bid was $22,000, sold for $93,000. Max bid was $10,000, sold for $36,000. So these are double, triple my amount, and those numbers were the safest, best numbers. Those were flipping numbers too. Those are numbers I'm working with some investors, and we want to sell the house quick. So that was a video from Josh Blanchard. I'm gonna get on a drive. In this case, it's actually cheaper to drive and will be less time to drive. So I'm driving instead of flying. It's a 4-hour drive, and it would have been like 4 hours for flights, then plus going through security. Okay, now I'm ranting. Later, guys. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace. Later. Ciao.